Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hey. All right. Welcome this morning to all the fog. I call it a little brisk weather. But we're here in the spirit. Let's all stand and let's sing, I am open. Let's all stand. I am open. I am open. I am open to receive the love that's you and me. I am open. Beautiful. I am open. I am open to receive the love that's you and me. You are open. You are open. You are open. You are open. You are open to receive the love that you and me. You are open. You are open. You are open. You are open to receive the love that you and me. For the world, we are open. We are open. We are open. We are open. We are open to receive the love that's you and me. We are open. Oh, we are open. We are open to receive the love that's you and me. Love you and me. The love that's you and me. The love that's you and me. Love that's you and me. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Reverend Andy Anderson is in the house. Yes. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living in partnership with Unity of Medford. We are a spiritually progressive, inclusive community, faith community, and we're dedicated to teaching tools to not only transform our personal lives, but also help make a world that works for everybody. We welcome each and every one of you, whether you are, wherever you may be on your own spiritual journey, your personal journey. We welcome those joining us online on Facebook and YouTube as well. Is there anybody here? I think there are at least a couple people here for the first time. We'd like to just welcome you with a little applause. Will you raise your hand if you're here for the first time? Welcome, welcome. We have welcome packets in the back if you're interested, and we would love for you to join us after service in the social hall for some social time. So let's see, what else do we have this morning? We have Reverend Andy Anderson as our musician this morning. Grateful to you, Reverend Andy, as always. Reverend Bonnie Anderson, and yes, they're related, is going to be doing our invocation and reading. And Reverend Kim Bebo just did a wonderful meditation and is holding high watch. She's praying throughout the service for the highest and best reception of good for each one here. I have this funny feeling I'm forgetting something. Oh yes, I want to do something special this morning. Something that maybe we should have done a long time ago. If I can find it, yeah. We begin this morning by acknowledging the land on which we gather is the ancestral homeland of the Latgawa tribe, the indigenous people who occupied this land well before us. The Latgawa and other tribes were displaced during Euro-American colonization, the gold rush, and armed conflict in the 1850s. So please join me in silently honoring the ancestral and current struggle of all the original people of these lands. Deep breath in, everybody. Deep breath out. I'm going to encourage you to silence your cell phones if you haven't already, or put them on airplane mode. And I'm going to turn it back over now to Andy to prepare us for our invocation and reading. And so after this particular song, as always, I'm going to encourage us to hold our applause so we can stay in that sacred space and have Bonnie, Reverend Bonnie, pray us in.
Looking at the sun, stars, the moon, the sky. So good to know that I'm alive. My eyes are open wide. Everything that I say, that I do is leading me to what is true for me and for you. So glad that I know it's just another blessed day. It's just another blessed day. I look all around me, all that I see is life itself looking back at me, smiling. How do you do? It's saying to me, how do you do? Everything that I say, that I do is leading me to what is true for me and for you. Oh, so glad that I know it's just another blessed day. No matter what comes and goes, life is like the river that always flows. It's breathing in, breathing out. I'm one with the one and it's alright. It's only waiting for you. So come on and dive into your truth. Oh, nothing's holding you. Today's a new you, a brand new you. Oh, this is wonderful. Spirit is in the house. And we shall continue. Today is a perfect day, perfect time and space to love myself and let go of everything I've shown up. I see the best in me, oh, the best love of me, oh, and there's nothing else I need to do. Just let His love come shining through. So grateful, I know, it's just another blessed day. It's just another blessed day. It's just another blessed day. Ooh. It's just another blessed day.
So know with me that it is another blessed day. It is another sacred day. For we call in the sacred this morning. That this sanctuary is a sacred space, a place where we are all here together. Unity, Centers for Spiritual Living, all one. Knowing that we are all part of the divine fabric of the universe. There is no separation. All is is one, all is sacred. Wherever we walk is holy ground. And this morning, we know that this sacredness is blessed because of the love that is in this sanctuary. The love is what creates this sacred moment. And we feel the love flooding every inch of this room. We feel the love encircling and enfolding us and welcoming us to this beautiful sacred moment. For we are here together, opening our hearts and our minds to receive the beautiful words of Reverend Kimberly, to listening to the heart-opening music of Reverend Andy, to be here open, waiting to be filled with the inspiration from on high. It is good and it is very good. We see this service flowing in the most beautiful way, honoring every person here and honoring every person listening. For we are all blessed. We are all in this sacred container of love. And it is a beautiful thing. And I am so grateful for every person that is watching this service right now, no matter where they are. I am so grateful for the container that has been created here to house the sacred, this sacred, holy moment. And I release this now, knowing it is done. We plant it in the fertile soil of mind and know that it is perfection unfolding. And so it is. So welcome, everyone. I see your beautiful faces and smiles, and you're all welcomed here this morning. I am going to do a reading, and to me, sacredness is nature. Nature is always, sacred. Nature is so sacred. All I have to do is walk out by the river, and I feel the sacredness of life. And Mary Oliver is a wonderful poet who writes a lot about nature. So I'd like to read you a poem by Mary Oliver called The Swan. Did you see it? Did you too see it drifting all night on the Black River? Did you see it in the morning rising into the silvery air? An armful of white blossoms, a perfect commotion of silk and linen as it leaned into the bondage of its wings. A snowbank, a bank of lilies biting the air with its black beak. Did you hear it, fluting and whistling, a shrill, dark music, like the rain pelting the trees, like a waterfall knifing down the black ledges? And did you see it finally, just under the clouds, a white cross streaming across the sky, its feet like black leaves, its wings like the stretching light of the river? And did you feel it in your heart, how it pertained to everything? And have you too finally figured out what beauty is for? And have you changed your life? Thank you. And now we have another wonderful song from Reverend Andy.
So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. I will share share, I will share, I will share, I will share this love, this love, this love. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. So secret, so sacred, so precious, this love. I'll share, oh, I will share, I will share, I will share, I will share, I will share this love, this love, this love. Let's sing it all together. So sacred, so sacred, so secret, so secret, so precious, so precious, this love, this love. Let's sing it again. So sacred, so secret, so precious, so precious, this love. I will share, 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 I will share this love, this love, this love, this love. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love, this love, this love. Ooh.
Andy Anderson, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, I said after the meditation too, when nobody claps right away, it's a good thing. You know we're moved, we're heart-centered. One more group of people I want to honor today, because yesterday was Veterans Day. So anyone here who has served in any of the armed services, would you please stand so we can give you a little love and appreciation? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your service. This month, we have been talking about the mundane, the sacred, and the profane. Last week, I talked about mining the mundane. In other words, even in our most ordinary, everyday moments, there are precious, precious experiences. There is God always present. We know it's never absent. And part of what I talked about last week was salvation. And it's not something we normally talk about in New Thought circles. Of course, in tradition, Christian theology, salvation means we are saved from our sins by the sacrifice of Jesus on the cross, who died for us. We don't teach it exactly that way. In New Thought circles, we believe, like everything, that salvation is a shift in our own consciousness. In other words, we are our own salvation when we are willing to release belief in sin, belief in guilt, belief that we could ever be separate from that which God is. Now, that doesn't mean we don't make mistakes and stray from the mark. Of course we all do. But when we are able to recognize and embody and act from a place of oneness with God and with all of life, that's when we are saved from any suffering, and we are really living in a place of peace. As Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, would say, heaven is within us, and we recognize it and feel it to the extent that we become conscious of it. So that was salvation. This week I'm going to talk about another word that we don't usually use in modern day language. The word is behold. Now it means pretty much to notice, to observe, to see, right? So I could say, although I probably never would, on Halloween I beheld the parade in the square in Ashland. We just don't use that. But what I learned this week is behold, when not used as a verb, but rather as an adjective, has a very powerful, special meaning. So, remember when the angel Gabriel came to the Virgin Mary to announce the Annunciation, as the Catholics would call it, that she was going to bear a child, the Savior. When the angel first appeared, Mary was understandably afraid. You know, I would be too, I think. And so Gabriel reassured her, you know, Mary, nothing to fear. You have found favor with God. Behold, you will conceive in your womb a baby. You shall bear a son and shall call his name Jesus. And eventually, Mary, during this conversation, said, behold, I will forever be revered as somebody who birthed the Savior. That's not the exact wording, but you got the picture. So behold means neon sign, red neon sign, pay attention really closely, baby, to what follows, because it's a big deal. Right? And it was. I mean, that was an earth-changing, a world-changing event. So I have called my talk this morning, Behold, comma, the sacred exclamation point. Behold the sacred. We've already been talking about it in our prayer and in our readings. So, the founder of Unity, Charles Fillmore, said this about this word that we never use anymore. He said, we are transformed by beholding. Whatever we persistently behold, we manifest. We know this in our New Thought teachings, right? That our looking to see the perfect pattern, the indwelling Christ in all people and in all events, we look past the conditions, we look past mistakes, and we see Spirit. We behold its perfection, and then we are transformed. Ernest Holmes, founder of Center for Spiritual Living, or Religious Science, was talking about the job, the role of practitioners, our prayer partners. And he said their job is to see in, he called them patients, we call them clients, the people for whom we're praying. He said their job is to see the client as a perfect entity, living in a perfect universe, surrounded by perfect situations, governed by a perfect law. Behold, he wrote, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. But it must be recognized, seen, beheld, if you will. We must know all-powerful Spirit is ever available and ever equal to the healing of any discordant conditions of body, mind, or affairs. But we must never look outside ourselves to find Spirit. It is indwelling. Behold the Spirit. So we're really asked to behold the Spirit all around and also within us. Now, as luck would have it, or synchronicity, which is really a divine thing, right? Synchronicity. You all know I've been studying A Course in Miracles, and the lesson for this morning, which is day number 316, goes like this in the daily lessons. Father, I would accept your gifts today. I do not recognize them, yet I trust that you who gave them will provide the means by which I can behold them, see their worth, and cherish only them as what I want. it almost takes a couple readings to digest that, right? I trust that there are always gifts being given me by the Spirit. I don't always recognize them. But to really know that whatever is happening is what I want. My will is thy will ultimately. Everything that happens to us, even if it appears challenging or difficult, works together for our good. It's in the scriptures. Everything works together for good, for those who love God. So it kind of looks like this sometimes, and we all know this, I think. Those people who we judge the harshest, who push our buttons the firmest, who we just want to run from or berate or whatever, are our finest, most powerful teachers, right? What they're saying is, look within, because if something's disturbing my peace, something needs to be healed right here within me. So to be grateful even for those people and those experiences, they can be transformed, but they can also transform us if we trust they're there for our growth. So Mark Anthony Lord, my teacher and A Course in Miracles, said at the end of today's call, as we see God in everyone, we ourselves are healed. Ain't this the truth? But, you know, I don't know about you, but I have an addiction sometimes to judging, to criticizing. Anybody else? Nah, you're all enlightened, right? So Michael W. Smith wrote a wonderful song that we can't sing because it's copyrighted, but some of you may know it. And it goes like this: open the eyes of my heart, Lord, I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord, I want to see you. Holy, holy, holy you are. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. What a beautiful mantra for us to take into this sacred day. As we have heard already, this is a sacred, sacred day. That song reminded me of the mantra that I've shared with you that comes from the Hindu teacher Paramahansa Yogananda, who came from India to the West to bring Hinduism. And the wonderful chant, we've done it here a couple weeks ago, door of my heart, open wide, I keep for thee, meaning God. Wilt thou come? Wilt thou come? Night and day, I look for thee, night and day. If we can live each moment with that in mind, we truly do find paradise, and we do truly find the good in everything we experience and see the love and see the divine in every person that we encounter. There's a beautiful little story that was shared with the ministers on the listserv this week about a little girl who embodied this. Her name was Miranda. She was 8 years old, and she was at the beach with her daddy, and she went into the water about waist deep, and she's like standing there just enjoying the surf, and she begins to sway back and forth with the surf, and 15 minutes go by, and her dad's watching her carefully, naturally, and he seems to notice that her eyes are closed, and she keeps swaying, just standing there in the same spot. After about 30 minutes, he's like, wow, I wonder, if she's okay. I hope she's almost like she's in a trance. And after an hour, he starts to worry, does she have enough sunscreen? Is she having some kind of a seizure? But he has the smarts to just watch and not rush. After an hour and a half, little Miranda comes out of the water, sits quietly beside her dad, and he says to her after a couple minutes, what were you doing? She says, I was in the water. And he said, in the water? She said, yes, I was in the water, and it was so, so wonderful. I was the water. The water was me. I love the water, and the water loves me. That is being in the moment, right? Recognizing the sacred, going with the flow. If we could do that, if we could be, Jesus said, be like the little children if you want to enter heaven, right? So I think to me that means, I might have said this last week, it means to be like a child is to let go of all our preconceived judgments and opinions and, just let it all go and be here with the beauty of the moment. The Buddhist teacher, Jack Kornfield, who I love, said, enlightenment is intimacy with all things. Wow. So the sacred can indeed be found in all that exists, but we do have to attune to it. We have to be willing to behold God in everything and allow ourselves to feel that connection, to feel that intimacy. Steve Taylor, in his beautiful book, The Calm Center, writes this poem that speaks to this. It's called The Same Substance. How can we be separate when we're the same substance, body and soul, collections of the same atoms, and channels of the same soul force? Let's be like children, whose beings are too empty to be filled with distinctions. How sweet it is to hear that baby child in our midst here. Too open to be closed off by prejudice, too fluid to be clogged up with concepts, so whole and so connected that they don't need to build a fortress of identity. What is it that separates us? Only the illusion of identity, only the illusions of separateness. So to do everything in a sacred manner means to do everything in a full state of presence and awareness, like that little Amanda in the water. There's another beautiful story. It comes from Mark Nepo's Book of Awakening, and I trust it's a true story about a woman named Miriam Elks who was a Holocaust survivor. And, you know, she, needless to say, endured horrible atrocities and torture. Her husband died in the death camps. Years later, when Miriam was talking with her adult son, she said there were two things that sustained her during this really, really horrific time in the death camps. A piece of bread that she always kept on her person, and a broken comb. And what she did with those two things, she kept the bread in case someone else in the concentration camp needed it more than she did. And the comb, no matter what was going on that day, no matter what atrocities were happening around her, she combed her hair in the morning and evening every day to affirm her person, to affirm her beauty in the eyes of God, to affirm her divinity. And so we see that even two very ordinary things can have such sacred, powerful meaning that no matter what's going on in our own lives, how can we continue to affirm our worth and our divinity? And even in the worst of times, what do we have that we can share to alleviate someone else's suffering? Even if it's a comment, a loving comment, a smile, we're always in the position to do so. And when we do, I think we relieve not only their suffering, but our own. A piece of bread and a broken comb. So to recognize God's hand, God's benevolence in all our experiences, good or bad. You know, what strikes me as I read some of these stories and quotes is the similarity in all the teachings, from Hindu, Paramahansa Yogananda, to Buddhist, to the Sufis, Sufi mystic Islamic teachers, to Christianity. It's kind of amazing, the golden threads of truth that run through all our world religions. This is actually, let's see, yeah, this is a Rumi. I've got two poems in here. This is Rumi. So he is the 13th century Sufi mystic poet that I'm probably most of you know, and I love him. He says, he writes, Rumi, pay homage. If God said, Rumi, pay homage to everything that has helped you enter my arms, there would not be one experience of my life, not one thought, not one feeling, not any act I would not bow to. Wow. It reminds me when I was I had a tour of the Buddhist temple outside of Mount Shasta. And I shared that Sunday after I came back that it was so touching, because as we walked through the grounds, every time our guide, the monk who was guiding us, passed anyone else in the kitchen or anywhere, what did they do? They'd put their hands together and bow at each other. Namaste. The divine in me recognizes the divine in you. So I guess the question I'd like me and everyone to ask ourselves this week is, what has to shift in my awareness so that I might behold the sacred in all things, bar nothing. To recognize our oneness with each other, our intimacy with all of life. What bits of bread can we give to someone else? So part of recognizing the sacred, beholding the sacred, is acting from the knowing that we are one. This morning, as I arrived early to the church, there was a man at the corner with all his bags, obviously homeless, ranting and raving and visibly very, very, very upset. And so I called to get some help. There is now I don't know what they call it, but there's a group of trained people who are trained to deal with chronically mentally ill people in a compassionate way. But I was talking to Jason on our video team in the back, and he had already spoken to the man and found out his name and had given him, Jason said, I buy online ponchos this time of year, and I give a poncho to anybody who's homeless. And so Jason gave the man a poncho. Such a sweet gesture. We are, and we'll be talking about this more later, we're always looking to what we as a community, as a spiritual community, can do in our larger community to help make a world that works for everyone. Last year we partnered with Maslow. Greg and Laura Stewart helped us provide gifts for young people. This year we're partnering again with Northwest Seasonal Workers Association. So during the announcements I'll be telling you some of the things you can bring next week, food items to help these workers have a good Thanksgiving. Many of these folks were burned out during the fires 2 years ago, right? And they're still not in permanent homes. It's really quite challenging. And then we'll be doing a holiday drive for all the other things that they may need, and there's opportunities to volunteer as well. So I just put that out there as ways that when we recognize the sacred in all people, we are willing to give and be of service to all people, no matter what their circumstances may be. So beholding the sacred, watching our attention, watching our willingness to experience the oneness, understanding of our oneness, and being able to touch the face of God in everything we do. I'm going to end, and the talk is a little short today because I want to do a little meditation right after this. This is a St. Francis poem, of course. Now, St. Francis is about the same time frame as Rumi, 13th century Catholic mystic. And he wrote this, Dear St. Francis of Assisi, he wrote, Dear God, please reveal to us your sublime beauty that is everywhere, 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 so that we will never again feel frightened. My divine love, my love, please let us touch your face. Amen. Yes. Amen, Everett. Out of the mouth of babes. So instead of going right to prayer, I want to do a little meditation, and in a minute, Andy will tickle the keys for us. You know, it's interesting, when I do a talk, sometimes I go on YouTube and research and, let everything percolate. And as you know, a lot of times the Course of Miracles comes in. This week I Googled on YouTube, seeing the sacred, just to see what would come up. And what came up was a man talking about the book. I don't know if any of you have read this. I have not. The book is called Black Elk Speaks. Anybody read the book? Oh, look at you all. You're ahead of me. And I was so touched. It was written by, I think the guy's name is Nayhold. Let's see if I have it here. It's been criticized by some, and it was also a bestseller. It's been criticized by some as, oh my goodness, where is it? Because, Black Elk was illiterate, so he didn't write, but John G. Nahart interviewed him. And whether or not this is absolutely accurate, it is absolutely beautiful, the thoughts of Black Elk. I first saw his name years ago, maybe 5 or so. I was at the Parliament of World Religions in Salt Lake City, and as I entered the convention hall, there were banners hanging in the hallway, and there were quotes from Black Elk, and I was struck at the time, I don't remember which ones they were, but I was struck at the time of the consciousness of this man. He was a holy man. He was a visionary, a leader of the Oglala Lakota tribe. And so I'd like to read to you how he begins, how John Nahart begins the book talking about his interview, his extensive interviews with Black Elk, and then we'll get into a meditation using some of his quotes. So Nehart writes, through Nehart speaking is Black Elk. My friend, I'm going to tell you the story of my life as you wish. And if it were only the story of my life, I think I would not tell it. For what is one man that he should make much of his winters, even when they bend him heavy like the snow? So many other men have lived and shall tell that story to grass upon the hills. The humility there, you guys, right? It is the story of all life that is holy and is good to tell, and of us two-legged sharing in it with the four-leggeds and the wings of the air and all green things, for these are children of one another, and their Father is one Spirit. Let's take that in. There's also a story, before I get into the meditation, Andy. There is a story in this video I saw. It was about a missionary who came to preach to the Seneca people in what is now upstate New York. So the missionary is called a black coat because that's what they wore. You could picture him, right? And he comes up to the Seneca and he tells them the Christian creation story. Adam and Eve in this perfect garden and perfect paradise, but how they were tempted by the serpent and a woman, so the scripture goes, and they sinned and they fell from grace and they created death. But now that there was a second Adam who had come, Jesus, and when we believe in Jesus, he will save us and we can go to heaven, which is this glorious place of no suffering. And the missionary looks at the Seneca and he says, wouldn't you love to go to heaven? And the Seneca say back to him, that's a cool story. Let me tell you our creation story about corn. And so they proceed to tell him their creation story, and the missionary gets more and more upset and agitated, angry and disgusted. And he says to the Seneca, well, I told you the truth with a capital T, and you're telling me fable and fiction. How dare you? And the Seneca said, we believed your story. Why don't you believe ours? And the reaction of the Seneca was just disbelief, because they, in their tradition, honored all beliefs, honored all stories, and would never, ever be rude like that. So amazing. So that's the heart with which I would like to enter this meditation. I'm going to invite you, Andy, please, to tickle the keys. And invite us all, if you're comfortable, close your eyes for a few more moments. Take in a couple deep breaths. Maybe sigh on the out-breath for a couple times, just letting go. Letting go of judgments, letting go of any guilt, letting go of any regrets, just letting go. Letting that divine love, that spirit that unites us all to breathe you, to breathe me. Becoming present in the body, feeling the chair beneath you. And let us be lifted by these words from the holy man, the visionary, Black Elk. Breathing this in. As you walk upon the sacred earth, treat each step as a prayer. At the center of the universe dwells the Great Spirit, and that center is really everywhere. It is within each and every one of us. Any man who is attached to things of this world is one who lives in ignorance and is being consumed by the snakes of his own passions. All over the sky, a sacred voice is calling your name. May you always walk in beauty. There can never be peace between nations until there's first known that true peace which is within the souls of men. Perhaps you've noticed that even in the very lightest breeze, you can hear the voice of the cottonwood tree. This, we understand, is its prayer to the Great Spirit. For not only men, but all things and all beings pray to him continually in differing ways. Give me strength to walk the soft earth, a relative to all there is. And finally, the Holy Land is everywhere. The Holy Land is everywhere. So let us pray as we stay in this state of oneness, of quiet, of listening, giving thanks for the beautiful wisdom of this holy man of the Oglala Lakota Black Elk, giving thanks for the spirituality of all the first peoples of this nation, for all the faith traditions. You hear a bit of Buddhism in Black Elks talking about not being attached. All faith traditions, Paramahansa Yogananda, the poets of modern times, Mary Oliver, whether it's Hinduism or Islam or Judaism, at any faith tradition, at its core, at its mystic arm, there is one truth, that we are all one, that God is all there is, whatever we choose to call it, Great Spirit, divine love, infinite creator, source, so many names, one power, one presence of absolute love, all powerful, all knowing, and everywhere present, eternal, having no beginning and no end. And each of us is a unique, precious incarnation of that one Spirit. Therefore, we are sisters and brothers on this earth. We are family. We cannot be separate from divinity or from each other. And on this day, when we vote to join together Medford of Unity and Center for Spiritual Living Rogue Valley, we recognize we come from one cloth. We are not separate. We may have unique talents and unique stories, but we are one. And I speak this same word for all peoples across the earth today, most especially for Palestinians, for Jews, for all places on the earth where there is apparent conflict, suffering, knowing that beyond that conflict, which is real in our human experience, there is one life. And whenever we hurt someone else, whenever we discard or berate someone else, we are hurting ourselves. So as Reverend Bonnie prayed this morning, I invite each one of us to infuse this sanctuary right now with the love that lives within us, that eternal flame that lives within us. We infuse this sanctuary to each and every person here. And as we do that, that love spills over, infusing the town of Medford, Ashland, the Rogue Valley. It infuses the state, the country, and on into the world. We have the power to be what it is we want to experience, to be an example, as was Jesus, as were all the sacred holy sages. An example of oneness, of love, of forgiveness. That power is within each and every one of us. So as I close this prayer, I give thanks for all faith traditions, for people who may worship today in a mosque, an ashram, a temple, in the woods, on a yoga mat, knowing there's one power, one presence. We are it. The Holy Land is everywhere, my friends. In gratitude for this opportunity to speak this truth, and gratitude for this community and all the love it represents, I release this prayer knowing it is heard and it is answered. And I invite us to say together, so it is. Amen.
Love is the strongest force that I know. You only need to recognize and know. Love will heal, love can reveal all you need to know, and then you let it go. You see, I never thought, I never knew this love could be so wonderful and new. I let it lead me and guide me on my way. I'm here to testify and say it's only love that can set me free. It's only love that will let me see I am whole and complete, yeah. It's only love that lives with me. Oh, you see, I am so glad I know I am one with this power that makes it so. You have to live this love from the inside out. See, there's no doubt what this love's all about. I get up every morning with a smile on my face, knowing this love will show me the way. I have to trust my inner knowing, step into my truth. Then, only then will I know this truth is love. It's only love that can set me free. It's only love that will let me see I am whole and complete, yeah. It's only love that lives with me. Oh, only love, oh, only love, oh, only love, oh, only love, only love, oh, only love. Yeah. Woo. It's only love that can set me free. It's only love that lives with me. I am whole and complete, yeah. It's only love that lives with me. Oh, only love, only love, only love, only love. It's all there is. Only love, only love. Only love. Woo! Oh, yeah.
I bow to you, Andy.
Oh, yeah, that was it.
Too bad this man doesn't feel the spirit. I
Feel the
just,
spirit.
woo! Thank you, honey. Love you. Woo!
Hallelujah.
Let me get my bearings here. It is time for our tithes and offerings. So I'm going to invite you, if you're putting something in the basket, to take it out, put it over your heart. If you are someone who gives online, and a lot of you do, just place your hand there and bless the basket as it goes by. I'm going to call our ushers forward. We are so grateful for the generosity in this community, for all your gifts. And I'm going to invite you to say this giving affirmation after me. Graciously I give from a place of love. Graciously I give from a place of love. Knowing that as I give, so do I richly receive. And so it is. And for friends watching online, you can go to our website, cslroguevalley.org, and hit the donate button if you'd like to make a contribution. We are very grateful.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, everybody. So, announcements. Oh, we have a few. Lots going on in this community. Can you feel it, the energy? We today, after our social hour, so around noonish, if we can get back in here, we have our joint community meeting with both Unity of Medford members, and everyone's welcome, whether you're an official member or not, and CSL Rogue Valley members. We are going to be voting. It's an important vote on are joining together as one community. So it takes the vote of the whole community to do so. There's a memorandum of understanding that we will summarize briefly, but I sent it out in the newsletter, and I know Jean mailed it to Unity members, about how we will treat our sacred time together when we come together as one organization. So everybody's invited to stay. There'll be 2 tables up here. If you're a member of one or the other community, you'll get your ballot from that table. Some of you are joint members, so please take a ballot from each, because you'll be voting as a member of Unity and a member of CSL. And we will have some time before you, if you don't want to put your vote in the box right away, we certainly want to have time for discussion and any questions. So please join us. There will be soup and snacks in the social hall right after service. Please remember to turn in your pledge card, your conscious giving card, which helps us make our budget, and it helps you be grateful for everything that comes in and circulate a portion of it back to the places where you're spiritually fed. If getting that card here is an issue, you can always just email Vivian at cslroguevalley.org with how much you want to pledge for this coming year to this joint community by the month, the week, the year, whichever you choose. And just a reminder, if ever during the year you need to change that amount up or down, of course you're welcome to do so. You're not signing anything in blood, okay? The Northwest Seasonal Workers Association is having a holiday drive. There's a list of things on the table in here that they would like starting next week, because Thanksgiving is upon us. Please bring in hams, turkeys, cooking oil, potatoes, white rice, dry pinto beans, or any of that here. We will transport the stuff. Danama and somebody from Northwest Seasonal Workers Association will take it over to their office. You can also drop stuff at the office during the week. They are at 203 North Oakdale Avenue. The men's group meets tomorrow here at the center. There is a time change. It's meeting at 11, not 1. And I believe Will Richardson is in charge this week. Thank you, Will. Unity's Prayer and Metaphysical Reading Group meets Tuesdays at 10:30, followed by Tai Chi with Joy at 11. The Song Circle will not meet this week, so their next meeting will be Thursday. They meet the first and third Thursdays, the next meeting being December 7th. Now, a couple live announcements. Kathy Green, our board president, had a great idea. Kathy, you're here, yes? There. Where are you? Come on up. Our board president, dear Kathy Green, has a great idea. If anybody doesn't have family to spend with, or if there are just two of you and you want to partake of a community Thanksgiving meal, Anita and Kathy, thank you.
I was going to plan a Thanksgiving at my house, and then I realized it probably wouldn't fit everybody that I would want to invite. I know I don't have family around here, and it's always kind of a negative thing for me to try to figure what I'm going to do for a holiday, so I decided to do it here. And Anita is helping, and we're going to have a Thanksgiving potluck. So it'll be at 1 o'clock, and come and bring something. And there's a sign-up sheet in there so we can get an idea of how many people are going to come. So come to Thanksgiving here.
Ditto.
Anita created a great sign-in sheet with suggestions on what to bring rather than commitments. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita and Kathy. And the teens and Linda Rapond have a big announcement. Come on up. Yay! Who gets the mic first? Reverend Linda? Okay.
Hi, I have helpers. Mark your calendar, December 3rd. We're doing something quite different this year for our fundraiser for the upcoming teen camp in January. We are having, drum roll, there, the great CSL soup off, which is, let me explain it to you just a little bit. Those of you in this congregation, that might mean you can sign up. You can actually sign up today because Sophie and Rachel will be back there taking sign-ups to bring soup on that Sunday, and to put aside soup in either a pint or a quart container, which we will be selling that Sunday. So there'll be like a lot of different kinds of soups, and you can go around with a little tasting cup and taste all the different soups that are here, and then you can buy some to take home. Like, who doesn't need stuff in their freezer during the holidays, like instant dinner, you know? Like, take a whole bunch, you know? You can have a soup lasts for a while. So so that's what the ask of you is, if you sign up, that you make a crock pot of soup for all of the sampling that day, and you make extra soup. And we'll ask you when you sign up, you know, do you want pints, do you want quarts, you know, how much extra do you want to bring? Then we'll give you the containers, which already have little labels on them that say what the soup is and whether it's dairy-free, gluten-free, vegetarian, vegan, you know, all the things that people have to have about what they're eating. It's on there. And then who made it. So then when you take it home, you just get to have a little moment of like, oh, I'm eating like Kim soup. This is so good. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to organize it in such a way on December 3rd that you can go around and taste a dozen different kinds of soup. And there's more. And you will be able to vote on what you think the best soup is. And there are prizes. So the best soups will have prizes, and we'll see as we collect our prizes this week if we have prizes for every category.
Oh,
but
wow.
there are definitely already prizes donated. So today the part that you need to do is sign up and say, I want to be part of this, and I'll bring some soup. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And did you already cover where this money goes?
It goes into our teen camp fund. So we have all of the teens that want to go to camp, can go to camp, and they've raised the money to go, so they're covered to go. And it's Martin Luther King weekend in January, and it looks like we might have as many as 5 teens going.
Nice,
so
nice.
We're doing stuff. Yeah.
Woo! Sophie, Rachel, Reverend Linda, thank you. Thank you. Woo! So I just want to also acknowledge Tamara McDermott. Are you in the room, Tamara? Okay. Tamara is the leader, the youth leader of our littles, our younger children. And she asked that we have a dedicated space in there that we don't tear down, that's set up, whether we have children in a given week or not, we hold the space. And she is an interior decorator, so she's gonna make that space cozy, even though it's small, and inviting. So let's just all hold that intention that we invite more families with young children, with teenagers, so that we can be truly a community with faces of all ages, all colors, all whatever, okay? Can you do that with me? Yeah. Yeah. So a quick couple announcements, because we need to get to our food and our meeting. As always, you can sign up for our weekly e-newsletter in Bosworth Hall. If you're new and you want a name tag, there's a name tag sign up in that corner. We have a prayer box for CSL here in the back of the sanctuary, one in there for Unity. And don't leave here with a heavy heart. I'm going to invite our practitioners and ministers in the room to come forward. If something is in need of prayer, in need of changing in your life, please come up and see one of these people after service for a 5-minute miracle prayer. They're also available for longer sessions for a fee. And I think that's it. So let's do our benediction and then turn it back over to Andy for our closing song. Would you say after me, please? Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
It is this thing called life.
This thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my affairs.
Life is in my affairs.
I accept it.
I accept it.
I bless it.
I bless it.
And I claim it.
I claim it.
Just the way it appears.
Just the way it appears.
And just the way it appears not.
And just the way it appears not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
So it is.
So it is. I am a light. I am a light. I am a light. I am a light in this world. I am a light. I am a light. I am a light in this world. And I shine. And I shine. And I shine so bright. And I shine. And I shine. And I shine so bright. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. And you shine, oh you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. For the world, we are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world every day. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. Oh, and we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. We shine. We shine, we shine, we shine, we shine, we shine.